Hi Maria, how are you?
I'm doing good. How about yourself, Jeff?
I'm good, thanks. Tell me a little bit about your role as office manager here for SERVPRO Yorba Linda.
As office manager, I basically run the day-to-day operations within the office. So that includes overlooking the customer service. It includes looking over the billing aspect of all the jobs that we're assisting, clients with. It includes quality insurance at time, just making sure that all our customers are satisfied with our work. So that's just a little bit about what I do. And I bounce around, here and there with different aspects of the company as well, because I've been with them for over 6 years.
Wow.
So I feel like I know the business inside and out. So
Nice. I bet you're a real asset in that way.
I hope so.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Great. What happens from the time that a customer who's had some kind of emergency at home or in their business calls in? What happens in terms of the way that you guys work with the customer?
Basically, the clients, they'll call us in directly and they'll say, I have an issue at my home. Is this something that you can help us out with? First, obviously, we hear them out to see what the issue is. And if it's something that we provide or something that we do, like water damage services to help with, flooding that they have at their home, or their mold needs and they need removal, then we'll go ahead and say, yeah, absolutely, we can help you out. And then from there, we basically collect all their details. We collect, their information, insurance partners they're working with, any, and then we try to schedule an appointment. Because it's really important to have one of our project managers out to the properties to go ahead and really assess what's going on and how we can help the clients.
Great. What happens? How do we get the rest of the SERVPRO team involved?
First, like I said, we have to collect the details
Yeah.
to see exactly what's going on there.
Yeah.
And then we would reach out to one of the project managers.
Okay.
Either, Caesar, Jonathan, Gilbert, and we would figure out who can get out there the quickest, the fastest. Depending on the areas that they're in that particular day. Sometimes we have, people in Riverside, other times we have people in, South County. So depending on where they are, we reach out to them and basically say, hey, we have this client. This is the situation that they're dealing with, when can you go out there? And then we would involve them in the process at that point to let them know what's going on with the client. And then once we figure out, okay, what time can we get you there, then we contact the client and we say, okay, this is what we can do for you. This is the time that we can be out there. This is where can you meet us, so that we can go ahead and assess and help you with your situation at your property.
Well, your intake process, when you're asking them, when you're talking to the customers at first, your goal, isn't your goal then to prepare the project manager as much as possible for when he arrives on site to talk to the customer?
Oh yeah, my goal is always to get as many details as I can from the homeowners so we can really understand their situation. So that when the project manager goes out there, they can be better prepared to help them. I know sometimes, they have a very long background story sometimes, because they tell you from the beginning, it was Saturday morning and I noticed this, and then, we noticed that. And so we try to capture all those details so that we can get them to the project manager. So when he gets there, the homeowners don't have to be repeating themselves, basically. They can just, with confidence know that all the details that they already gave the office, they're going to be with the project manager. It's on their phone, and basically they look at their schedule there and they can see all the details. Because if the client needs something special, a special piece of equipment for like flooring or walls, then the technician can go ahead and make sure that they have those details so that when they get there, they can be better prepared. So that's the reason why it's important. Also, timing wise on our schedule, it's important because we want to give adequate time to that property. If we have a client that has 10 rooms within their home that they're concerned about, then we want to make sure that we schedule ample time for that project manager to be there and to really be able to take a look at everything.
And then when he or she provides the initial estimate on site, is that also something that's making its way immediately into some sort of a text system of some sort, or how is that being done?
Yeah, the estimators, they're equipped with their laptops, so they'll go ahead and basically take dimensions of the areas in order to computerize the estimate, because it is something that's computerized. It's not something that's like, handwritten on a napkin and then given, to the client.
Yeah.
It's something that's computerized. It's input into Xactimate, which is a very standard program for the industry for water damage. They go ahead and input it, and then they send it over to the office so that we can have that on file, and then we go ahead and connect them with the client. So it is making it back to the office for us to do, final review. We'll also include photographs that were taken during the inspection.
I guess that some of that information must make its way to the insurance company at the same time. Does that help the customer then in terms of getting a faster, support financially from their insurance carrier?
I'm not really sure about financially, but I know communication is, one of the top things that they're looking for as far as the insurance carriers. They do want to know what's going on out at the properties, and they do want to know pretty quickly so that they can make, the necessary arrangements on their end that they need to make. Sometimes we have the insurance company that will actually wait on our inspection to determine if there is even coverage on a claim. So it's definitely important for us to make sure that we get our findings back over to the insurance companies as quickly as we can, so that they can go ahead and assist that homeowner with, answering questions about coverage, or answering questions about, are we going to be compensating for certain things. So I think it's always helpful to the homeowners if we get the information over to the insurance carriers quickly, so that they can also give them answers on what's going on out there.